Welcome, everyone. We are so happy to see all of your bright, shining faces here with us today. I'm Natasha Soni, and I'm one of the executive board members for the Students of Color for Public Health, and I'll be emceeing this along with my colleagues, Alyssa Tan and Noor Safar. We are also live streaming this event, so I would like to welcome those who are joining us virtually. The theme of our ceremony today is embracing our power. We believe that each and every one of you is powerful enough to move mountains in this world, and we have a great lineup of speakers who will say more about this throughout the evening. We asked the graduates to respond to this question. What are 2 or 3 words that come to mind when you reflect on graduation and your BUSPH education? While we had words like expensive and challenging, we also had words like community, grateful, growth, and exciting. You all have fostered these concepts during your time here, and you will continue to do so throughout the rest of your lives. Now for our opening remarks. In addition to being a physician, epidemiologist, and author, we are also honored to have Sandro Galea as the Dean of BU's School of Public Health. Dean Galea is committed to making our school as multiculturally competent and diverse as possible, which is why we are excited to have him here today to give opening remarks for our ceremony. Everyone, please welcome Dean Sandro Galea.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. That's better. It's so great to be here. It's so great to see you all. Congratulations. It's really wonderful to be here with you. You know, today we're here to celebrate you. But before we celebrate you, I would like us all to acknowledge that you don't get here by yourself. You get here on the shoulders of many family, friends, loved ones. So let's just do a round of applause for family, friends, loved ones, wherever they may be. All right, so we're here to look to your next steps. And we are here to look at your next steps, as all of you who've been involved in student coffee chats and conversations with me know, because you are the future of public health. And we have spent time with you and have tried our best to make sure that you are as well prepared as possible to be the future of public health. And you know, we do this because we care about the world, but we also do this for selfish reasons, because we want to live in a healthier world, and you all are going to be creating that healthier world going forward. So thank you in advance for what you're going to do. Now, as you all know, the work that we do, the work that you do, has never been more urgent. It's never been more urgent, and it's never been more important. You have lived through a health emergency that's unprecedented in recent history. You know, we're now at a point in time when the mission of public health is right in the heart of the public conversation. And really, it has not been like that ever in the past, in the lifetime of all of us who are in public health. As a result, we find ourselves as a field, and you find yourself as graduates into the field, in a position of power. Now, this power comes to us in part through the conditions of crisis, right? The pandemic exposed our collective vulnerabilities, but it also strengthened clarity of mind about the power of public health to address these vulnerabilities. Now, as the philosopher says, with great power comes great responsibility. And we have a responsibility to do everything we can to advance health, to create opportunities for people to thrive and flourish. Over the last 2 years, we have used our power to safeguard health, to mitigate the effects of COVID. And as we look to a post-pandemic world, we have a chance to create a future that is far healthier than our past has been. And I think this means applying the lessons we have learned during COVID, applying the influence we have acquired to the cause of building a healthier world. And that work is now yours. That is what you're leaving to be doing. Now, during your time here with us, you learned about the many ways in which the world is not optimized for health. You learned about health gaps that characterize much of our society. You studied the socioeconomic forces that drive these gaps. And you have committed to the idea that a healthier world is one where we address the foundational forces that create poor health. This knowledge is the basis of your power. This is the basis of the power you have as public health professionals, and it is your compass as you navigate forward. Now, as you embrace this power in pursuit of a healthier world, my urging is to do so always with an eye towards common good. Informed by the values of humility and compassion. Power, remember, is a tool. Like all tools, it can be used to build or to dismantle. If there is much to be built at this moment, we need to build a better status quo in which we all can access the resources we need to build healthier lives. There's also much to dismantle in a world that's often characterized by injustice, marginalization, racism, hate. And it's up to you, to all of us really in this room, to use your power, our power, judiciously to get us to a better future. Compassion can help. Compassion exposes the underlying structures that inform poor health. Humility also helps. It stops our zeal to dismantle injustice from becoming indiscriminate or vindictive. It tempers our excesses. There is much about the present that urgently needs to be changed. But there's also much about the present that is worth keeping. And humility helps us recognize our occasional limitations in knowing the difference. I want to end the way I started. I want to end by saying thank you. Thank you to all of you for joining us. Thank you for your commitment to creating a healthier world. It really has been a joy and a privilege to share time with you here at the school. Wherever you go next, you are always going to have a home in this community. We hope you continue to engage with the school's extended family for years and decades to come. And I hope that in the moment, you celebrate, because I think you've done a lot. I heard earlier about expensive and difficult challenges of a degree. I think it's time to celebrate and to say, we did it, we finished, we graduated in the company of family and friends. And I hope to have the opportunity to live in a healthier, better world because of all your work. Thank you for doing that. Everybody, congratulations.
Thank you, Dean Galea, for that amazing speech. On behalf of ISO, SCPH, and QA, we are pleased to welcome two of our graduating students, Sarah Marr, Chair of QA, and active SCPH member, Deontay Prince. Everyone please welcome Sarah Marr and Deontay Prince.
Hi, everyone. Thanks again for coming today. It's really great to see so many of you here. On behalf of the Students of Color for Public Health, International Student Organization, and the Queer Alliance, we first want to thank everyone who made today possible. This includes all the speakers you're going to hear from tonight, the GSL team, especially Mo and Mary back there, the BU catering and facility staff, and all of the student volunteers. Without your time and effort and dedication, we really couldn't have had this event here today.
The Students of Color for Public Health would like to express our sincere gratitude to our advisor, Dr. Yvette Cozier. Dr. Cozier, you have been instrumental in the continued success of SCPH and in the making of BUSPH a welcoming community for each of us, despite our cultural differences. We would also like to thank the many persons of color who have made up the BUSPH community and alumni network. You made BUSPH a diverse and vibrant community of public health change makers and change agents. Through your thoughtful suggestions and innovative ideas and creations, you have each added a brick to this structure of BUSPH. And for the next generation, we can add on to that. It truly makes this community inclusive and a just and orientated learning community.
And on behalf of the Queer Alliance, I want to extend a huge, heartfelt thank you to our amazing advisor, Julia Lanham. Julia, your guidance, positive spirit, and unconditional support have meant more than words can really express, and we love you to the rainbow and back, and I'm gonna not cry, and we hope you know that your presence here is truly valued at this school.
We also want to honor and thank all of our queer and trans community, those who have come before us, those who are with us in spirit, and those who are present with us here today. Your knowledge and courage inspire us to live proudly. You have laid the paths on which we stand and which we have followed. We hope that our work adds to this rich history and brings the school one step closer to being a place where queer and trans people can thrive.
Now, to all of the graduates, this day may have seemed like a long time coming, but we made it. We should be incredibly proud of ourselves and everything it took to arrive at this moment in time. It's impossible to ignore the fact that we completed our education during a global pandemic. We studied public health while watching the world and its inequities of COVID-19 unfold before us. For some of us, we moved from distant lands to a new city, leaving our family and friends behind, facing them with uncertainty at the time. Despite the grief, trauma, and hardships of the past 2 years, we found a way to keep moving forward day by day with a dedication to making our world a healthier place.
And all of us here today have left a mark on the school, whether you realize it or not. Every question you raised, every thoughtful comment you had, and every way that you challenged the way that our systems work really, truly matters. You all have bravely brought who you are into this institution. As individuals, we each bring our unique perspectives, intersectional identities, and life experiences into our work. But when we come together, each of us showing up authentically as we are, it becomes a fusion of creativity, action, and power that cannot be ignored. I am filled with so much optimism, knowing that each of us is leaving here with an unwavering commitment to make our communities a better place.
From the Zoom room to the lecture room and Talbot, I consider myself lucky to have been a part of this cohort of resilient and passionate individuals. Our friendships and collaborations expanded beyond the screen and took root in a physical form. The bonds we created here among the faculty, staff, and our peers will surely prove to be paramount in our career advancement. The long nights and laborious hours we allocated to assignments, practicums, internships, and even jobs. We stand on the cusp of graduation and the end of a chapter. But in any good novel, the end of a chapter begins the one of a new one.
So as you prepare to begin this next chapter, there are a few things we hope that you keep in mind. First, know that you're more than your degree. Sure, we can all add those extra 3 letters now at the end of our email signatures and our LinkedIn profiles, but that doesn't define who we are. And second, know that you'll never be alone. While we all may be in different cities, states, and countries after we graduate, we are all bonded by our collective dedication to public health.
Third, dare boldly. Do not shy away from an idea or project that hasn't been done before, because doing things differently is how we shake up the system. And last, we challenge you to take what you have learned while attending this illustrious institution and go forth into the world with the passion and determination to strengthen and positively change the health and well-being of populations globally.
Now, I am super excited and honored to be able to introduce our keynote speaker for the evening, Lola Gintobi. Lola is a public health professional that has been dedicated to improving health outcomes for over a decade. In her current role as the Consumer and Community Engagement Consultant at Community Catalyst, she works with community partners to engage consumers and create equitable solutions. Throughout the span of her career, Lola has supported youth in reaching their education goals, delivered teen pregnancy curricula, provided family planning counseling in a school-based health center, trained young women to educate peers about HIV prevention, managed the delivery of health education to 2,500 ninth grade students in 15 public schools, and delivered training and technical assistance to MDPH-funded youth programs. Lola prioritizes racial justice and health equity in every aspect of her work. She's a proud graduate of the University of Massachusetts Amherst with her BA in psychology, and is also an alum of Boston University, where she received her MPH in maternal and child health. So Lola, welcome to the stage.
So unfortunately, Lola is stuck in traffic. I don't think any of us are surprised by that, being that we're in Boston. Can you do roll call first? The naming of the graduates. Yeah, just do that. So we're actually gonna switch things around, and we're gonna we're gonna hand out the cords and college graduate to the stage now. So Noor will introduce our speaker for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. That's okay. Do you still want me to give you a little introduction? Only if you'd like to. I want to do whatever you'd like. Okay. Why don't you just say the independence of the courts? Okay. Okay. Hello. Sorry. Okay. So just to give you an idea of how this is going to go, Dean Cogier is going to be reading all of your last names alphabetically, or all of your names alphabetically by your last name. And so you're going to get up, be given a cord. So the cords are comprised of 3 different colors to represent the 3 different organizations you've been involved with during your time at BUSTH. And then after receiving your cord, you're going to sit right back down. Just a little bit about Dean Cogier. So as well as being an associate professor at BU's School of Public Health, Yvette is also the Associate Dean for Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Justice. And so many of us here understand the significance that those principles carry in both our personal and professional lives. Diversity, equity, and inclusion aren't just buzzwords. They represent acceptance, security, and most importantly, hope. And as someone who has dedicated so much of her life's work to bridging gaps when it comes to Black women's health, Dean Cogier has embodied these very values. And so we're very honored to have her here today. Everyone, please give her a very warm welcome. Good evening, good afternoon. I'm honored to be the name reader. I am just going to apologize in advance should I not say things exactly as they should be, but I've been practicing, so bear with me, okay? Okay, so Lena Abu Talib. Okay. Abina Aichambong. Latonia Allen. Nicole Anand. Jocelyn Patricia Antonio. Reem Aswood.
Sorry for the jog. Oh wait, where's the camera? Oh. Thank you so much.
Eugene Bai. Shruti Banur. Esther Boyney. Emma Chong. Elif Joshkun. Athena Evdokia Davis. Dika Day. Anne-Marie Doble. Elisa Michaela Dockstader. Kezia Domond. Courtney Enge. Andres Fernandez Pruneda. Maria Garcia. Adamaris Gomez Duenes. Michaela Harris. Rashida Louise Hay. Claire Herman. Seema Bujaude. Soraya Jasmati. Jasmine Tower. Jaratu Koyate. Melanie Lambert. Adam Majeski. Elisa Manandur. Sarah Marr. Geraldine Medina. Sumaya Mia. Tanisha Matal. Gloria Ng. Lily Nguyen. Tulila Chisum Wabunya. Mami Aksoyo Oimeng Tenyase. Dipti Pant. Nishita Patel. Juliette Pluvios Philip. Deontay Prince. Stephanie Reyes. Yes, Janani Sarathi. Mariana Serrano. Eat Shah. Jeet.
Would that be Professor?
Jeet Shah.
Then would it be?
Oh, tell me your name. Miloni Shah. Shaniat Song. Paulina Soria. Madeline Stump. Jerica Shinobu Tavares.
Excellent pronunciation.
Okay. Nancy Thakrar. Romy Nishith Villani. Tommy Volkman. Catherine Wee. Alexandria Whitted. Jamie Ruben Zapata. And Robin Volsey Lee. Congratulations to all of our graduates.
Thank you, Dean Cozier, for announcing all of those names, and congrats to all the graduates. Our keynote speaker is now here. And so now we just want to welcome, you all heard the introduction about Lola already, so I'll just welcome Lola to the podium.
All right. Hello, everyone. I promised I was not trying to make a fashionable entrance, but I'm just saying, check my phone. I'm Nigerian, so I have to stunt. It's required. I promise I'm not all jokes, but I feel like after potentially a year and a half to up to 3 years, you all deserve to have some lighthearted fun. You have worked so hard. You have done amazing things. Some of you have been the first in your family to accomplish what you have accomplished. So please smile and laugh. And at this moment, please clap for yourselves. So it is an honor to speak with you today. Your colleagues Tamika and Natasha gave me the invitation, so I thank you for the opportunity to celebrate with graduates from Students of Color for Public Health, the Queer Alliance, and the International Student Organization. Class of 2022, you have embarked on a difficult and at times long journey called grad school. Here you are today preparing to graduate and enter into a new chapter into your life. Congratulations on your accomplishments. Grad school is no easy feat. You spent countless hours studying, writing, researching, and learning your specific focus. You completed your core curriculum, courses for your functional and context certificates, practicum, career prep program, and integrative learning experience. Just listing it, I am tired, so I can only imagine how you all feel. If you have not already celebrated and congratulated yourself, please make the plan to do that. Please give yourselves a hug. Please turn inward and reflect on all of the good work that you have done. This year's theme is embracing our power. I hope that you recognize the power that is within this room. Although I have not had the honor of talking with each of you, I do know that BUSPH is a place full of talent. You are leaders, implementers, evaluators, creators, change makers, dreamers, and visionaries. You are powerful beyond measure. I know that you are powerful because you chose public health as a course of study. Public health is medicine's less recognized, less glamorous cousin. It's a field that both pays less and it will never have a multi-season, multi-million-dollar show on any network. We simply don't have a public health version of Grey's Anatomy. You have committed yourself to a lifetime of answering the questions, what is public health? And so are you a doctor? It is quite powerful that each and every one of you have come to peace with the fact that your families are proud of you, but they also have no clue what you do. In all seriousness, you could have committed your time, money, and resources to studying anything, but you chose public health. In the past 2 years, you have seen how timely it is to be at BUSPH. At the end of 2019, there were rumblings about a virus that was not well understood, but it had started moving through countries one by one. By January 2020, the virus arrived in the United States. And on March 11th, 2020, the World Health Organization declared that COVID-19 was indeed a pandemic. For 2 years, we have witnessed the global spread of a virus and the devastation that has resulted. We have seen firsthand that although viruses do not discriminate, the effects of institutional and structural racism lead to health inequities. As vaccines became available, many rejoiced that they would see a reprieve from mourning and loss and grief. Yet again, structural inequities made themselves known. It was not vaccine availability, but vaccine equity that determined how likely people were to have access. In the United States, many pointed to the historical mistrust that many Black, Indigenous, and Latinx people rightfully have when it comes to healthcare as the sole reason for slow vaccine uptake. Again, I must reiterate, the mistrust that we see in these communities is rightfully so. But it's not the only reason that people are slow to take the vaccine. In the global context, researchers pointed to the fact that many non-Western nations, also known as developing nations, had lower rates of COVID. So that was why vaccine uptake was slow there. Both views made headlines and were addressed in publications and news shows. It was the reason we saw less vaccine distribution in these communities. But there are two sides to each coin. And on the other side of each of those coins, there were facts that weren't talked about. In the United States, it looked like Black, Indigenous, and Latinx communities experiencing structural barriers that limited vaccine availability, including understaffed vaccine sites, increased occupational exposure, and limited vaccine sites in their neighborhoods. Globally, vaccine distribution reached higher in upper middle income countries before lower income countries. Again, this is not an issue of just availability, it is an issue of equity. As 2020 rolled on, many did not know when the crisis would end. Another public health crisis was unveiled. On May 25th, 2020, a father known to his loved ones as a gentle giant, affectionately called Big Floyd, was murdered. George Floyd, yet another Black unarmed man, was murdered in the custody of police officers, and as a response, protests began. Chants of Black Lives Matter and no justice, no peace hit the streets of communities throughout the United States and throughout the world. At its core, something was different this time. People who had not paid attention before heeded the call to action. Conversations about racism were happening outside of organizing spaces and social justice movements. An awakening happened for many, forcing people and institutions to look inward. Across the country, cities and towns, healthcare institutions, and various industries proclaimed racism is a public health crisis. This was a shift, placing anti-racism efforts at the forefront of many people's minds. What is true about public health is that we often see the same things happening over and over again. 8 years ago, I was an incoming graduate student, eager to gather new academic and professional tools so I could go out and change health outcomes for the communities that I belong to, the communities that I love, the communities that raised me. There were two events, one global and one national, that marked the beginning of my time at BUSPH. In March 2014, the Ebola pandemic began in West Africa, which was the largest spread of the disease in history. In August 2014, a recent high school graduate known to loved ones as Big Mike was murdered in Ferguson, Missouri. Yet again, like those before and those after his unjust death, Mike Brown became a name known to many. Yet again, people took to the streets to chant Black Lives Matter and hands up, don't shoot. Epidemic to pandemic, the murder of unarmed people, history kept on repeating itself. In the Ebola epidemic and the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw that people panicked at the thought of an unknown threat. But once they realized that the threat impacted people who were different from them, their concerns dropped. As anti-racist efforts took off across the United States after the murder of multiple people, the efforts suddenly waned, leaving many wondering where the concern was, where the promises of allies went. Public health is a field that forces us to face difficult truths. Today, we see that policies are created to silence truth, push people to the shadows, and restrict healthcare from those who need it. In the United States, currently, legislators across several states have created anti-CRT, anti-trans, and anti-abortion bills. It is difficult to see that at times your very existence in this world is so powerful that people want to extinguish your light. It is bleak to stare these legislations in the face, and yet for many of you, this drives you even further. This is the light underneath you that continues to make you go out and create change. These hateful, concerning legislations make public health so much more real to you. You are the change makers, the rabble rousers, and truth tellers who can take your understanding of public health to protect the well-being of many. Public health is not a quick and easy field. It requires work that is long and hard and taxing. However, the promise of public health is that there is a world that looks different than it does today. There is liberation in the future. There is a world where health outcomes are not predicted by your zip code. In Boston, whether you live in Fenway or Roxbury, your life is long, important, and full of all of the resources you need with no barriers to access. You have spent this period of time in grad school going from student, and now you are practitioners. Your love for making a difference, doing the right thing, creating a just and whole world where people are free, that is your superpower. I have said it once and I will say it again, you are powerful beyond measure. I want you to repeat after me, I am powerful beyond measure. I'm going to ask you to say it one more time, like you actually believe it. I am powerful beyond measure. As you go out into the world, I want to share just a few things that I hope you will take with you. The great poet and author Gwendolyn Brooks said, "We are each other's harvest, we are each other's business, and we are each other's magnitude and bond." I encourage you to carry this with you as you enter into your new places of employment or the next place that you are a student in. Although you shine individually, we cannot do this work alone. We need each other as colleagues, but also as trusted friends to keep us accountable. Community members need you to crunch the data in order to improve health outcomes. But they also need you to remember that they are more than data points. They are people with full lives who have joy in their hearts, even if they face disparities. Remember their humanity in each room that you step into. And before I end, and before you go out and have your celebrations this evening, I want you to remember a few things. One, it is okay to say no as you journey on in your career. No is a full sentence. Sometimes saying no allows you to sit at the table where you were originally meant to be at. Two, collaborate. This room is full of people who will complement your work today and in years to come. Work with one another, support each other, and recommend each other's work. Three, rest. It is so hard to do that after the 18 months to 2 to 3 years that you have faced doing full-time coursework. But I promise that you are worthy of rest, and it's necessary for the journey ahead. And lastly, be kind to yourself. It is okay to not have all the answers, but you've got this. You are brilliant and deserve to take up space. Once again, I want you to repeat after me. I am powerful beyond measure. Class of 22, I am so excited for all of the promise that your futures hold for you. Good luck in all your endeavors. You are stars. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Lola, for that powerful and wonderful speech and outfit. And then once again, congratulations to our graduates. We are honored to have Dean Andrade here tonight. As the Associate Dean of Practice and Director of the Activist Lab here at BU SPH, Dean Andrade has been a catalyst for SPH's public health practice endeavors locally and globally. From celebrating BU's Giving Day to taking one too many pies to the face, to consistent and compassionate mentorship and racial justice and health equity practice and promotion, we are so grateful and honored to have him here for closing remarks. Everyone join me and please give a warm welcome to Dean Andrade.
Thank you. You all look awesome. It is truly my honor to contribute to this celebration. I want to repeat a tradition I tried to start last time we met for a celebration for multicultural graduation. We were all on Zoom at that time. And this tradition, a Zulu Nation tradition, didn't quite resonate as it could have on Zoom, where half the people had their cameras off. So I'm going to ask you to listen to these instructions and then look to your left and look to your right and go through this tradition. The Zulu Nation of Southern Africa, legendary farmers, herders, and warriors, offer a custom I ask we engage to begin today. It is said that when Zulu meet another, they look into their eyes saying, "I see you." The traditional response to meeting is to meet their eyes saying, "I am here to be seen. I see you." So look to your left and look to your right and say, "I see you." All right, come on back here. I am here to be seen, and I see you. You are my people. Our community's Rainbow Coalition. Indigenous, Black, Latine, Asian, Pacific Islander, queer, trans, otherwise able, immigrant, Jew, Muslim, Buddhist, Sikh, Hindu, Catholic, however you identify across intersections. If you have been otherized, excluded, shamed, misjudged, or underestimated, you are my people. You are our people here at the School of Public Health. This is meant to be an inclusive statement, a statement of us and we, and a rejection of the hurtful use of the word them. Tonight, we celebrate you, each and every one of you. We celebrate your beautiful minds, your gigantic hearts, and every facet of your humanity. And in this celebration, we collectively dream of what your more multicultural public health powers mean for the world today. What is possible? What is probable when you, the new Rainbow Coalition of Public Health Pros, bring all of who you are, unedited, to better the world? Imagine it. What would you and your public health practice look like, feel like, and result in when you bring all of your humanity to do public health good for a better world? All of you unedited. All of your indigenous self, all of your Black self, your Latine self, all of your Asian self, your Pacific Islander self, your trans self, your queer self, your bisexual self, your immigrant self. No editing your accent. No altering your hair. all of your otherwise able self. Imagine all the ways you identify and present yourself as seen as gifts to your work and to the world. Society now experiences the proof that when there are a diversity of perspectives tackling a challenge, nothing but better things happen. Given what we, people of color and culture, have been through over these last years, and what many of us have seen and experienced for so much longer, there can be no more fit in to get in. No more fake it until you make it. All of you and multicultural culture are the new standard. Nothing about us without us is now a quaint saying, because practice is all who should be at the decision table are there by design. So, since you are what public health's future looks like, I challenge you to envision this victory and then claim it. The next chapter of public health story is yours to write. Bring yourself to your life story, unedited, and tell it often. Don't be afraid to shine in plain sight. Be bold. Be brave. Be fierce. Be you. And be the change that we and the world needs. I love you all, and I wish you the very, very best.
Thank you, Dean Andrade, for your kind words. And thank you all for joining us here today, including those of you who are attending virtually. Congratulations again to all of the graduates. I hope that, let's give everyone a round of applause. I hope that you take some time to celebrate not only today, but in the days to come. We now have dinner available for everyone, so you all can line up to get that as soon as we conclude here. And we also have a little photo booth section over here with some props. Feel free to use them or not, but definitely get definitely get a picture of yourself in front of that backdrop. And other than that, have a great rest of your evening. This is where the live stream ends, so we will be playing music. Everyone can stick around, mingle, dance.